From all over the country, the very best accounting students converge on Sunway City. Over the years, Sunway College has developed thousands of successful accountants.
We are the largest provider of professional accountants to the Big Five in Malaysia. This is a serious profession, and at Sunway College, we mean business.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for taking some time to be with us tonight. And I think for some of you, for the past few nights, I hope everyone is doing fine, staying safe. My name is Jacqueline, and I am the lecturer of Sunway Test for the past 11 years. Tonight, I'll be walking through some important information on how you can become an ICAEW Chartered Accountant and how you can launch a successful career with it. Okay, so I'm going to share some information with you. Right, so these are the few things that I will be sharing with you tonight. I'll begin with a brief introduction to ICAEW, the ICAEW qualification framework, the program structure, what are the modules under ICAEW and the various exemptions eligible to you, some information about technology, and lastly, the progression chart. My session will take about 20-25 minutes, and why I am mentioning this is at least you know if you are bored, you know how long that will be. Okay, some of you may have heard of ICAEW, and some of you may not have. ICAEW is a world-leading professional accountancy body around the world. And ICAEW stands for Institute of Chartered Accountant in England and Wales, and it was founded way back in 1880. Oh, that's a long time, more than 140 years ago. Currently, we have more than 150,000 members across more than 150 countries. ICAEW Chartered Accountants sit on the boards of 78% of the top 100 companies in UK, and you can be one of them too. In fact, ICAEW Chartered Accountants' jobs are not only desk-bound in accounting-related fields, but you can choose to work in a wide range of areas, from software startups to high-flying airlines to high-street investment bank, government-linked companies, you name it. That means you can work in any sector, in any organization. Some notable alumni include the well-known Tan Sri Tony Fernandes of AirAsia, Tan Sri Hassan American, the past president and CEO of Petronas, to name a few. And Ming Xiang, my co-host, will give you a more in-depth information about ICAEW later on. Now, let's see what it takes to become an ICAEW Chartered Accountant. As I said earlier, ICAEW Chartered Accountancy qualification is one of the most advanced learning and professional development programs. So if you want to become ICAEW Chartered Accountant, it is necessary for you to complete this qualification framework that comprises of 4 components, which are professional development, ethics and professional skepticism. You must have 3 to 5 years practical experience, and to complete 15 accountancy, finance, and business modules. So under professional development, you will have technical knowledge, professional skills, and practical experience to enable you to successfully handle different situations throughout your career. With ethics and professional skepticism, it will provide you with the necessary skills to identify ethical dilemmas, making judgment, and making the right decision. And of course, you have to work. Yeah, you have to undergo 3 to 5 years of practical work experience with an authorized training employer. So this is where you are going to gain practical experience, and this is where you will get invaluable insights into the realities of a career in chartered accountancy. And lastly, you have to complete these 15 accountancy, finance and business modules. So these 4 components, the four components that, that you have just looked at will give you an in-depth understanding across accountancy, finance and business, and combined, they will help you build technical knowledge. They will give you the skills that you can apply in your day-to-day work. Now, let's look at the program structure. So just like I mentioned, you are supposed to complete the 15 modules. And all these 15 modules are arranged progressively in the order from certificate level to professional level, and lastly, to advanced level. So at the certificate level, you will have 6 modules, professional level, another 6 modules, and lastly, the final 3 at the advanced level. So certificate level will introduce you with the fundamentals. So it will give you the basics of accountancy, finance, and business. So the subjects are accounting, assurance, business technology and finance, law, management information, and principles of taxation. And for professional level, it will build on the fundamentals that you learn at the certificate level. And it also tests your ability to apply technical knowledge that you gain at the certificate level in real life scenarios. And again, like I mentioned, there are 6 modules. You have financial accounting and reporting, audit and assurance, financial management, tax compliance, business strategy and technology, and lastly, you can take 1 module in business planning, either in taxation, banking, or in insurance. And finally, advanced level will test your understanding and strategic decision making at the top level, at the senior level. So at advanced level, you'll be presented with real life scenarios, and of course, definitely with increased complexity and implications than what you experience at the professional level. Okay, some good news for you guys. You are fully exempted from the certificate level. So the cross there shows the exemptions that you're eligible for. Okay, so you'll be fully exempted at the certificate level. You will also get exemptions for 2 professional paper, which is business strategy and technology and financial management. That means you are left with 4 professional papers and 3 advanced paper. 4 modules from the professional level and the final 3 modules from advanced level. Advanced level will never get exemptions. Yes, ICAEW will never allow exemptions at the advanced level. Moving on, I'm going to spend some time to share some information on the modules that you are going to attend. I know this is going to be a little dry part. I'm going to make this as less painful and as quickly as possible for you. Right, let's start with audit and assurance. So for audit and assurance, this module actually aims to develop students' understanding of the critical aspects of managing an assurance engagement. So basically, we are looking at the entire life cycle of audit and assurance, from acceptance planning and all the way to reporting. Right? So if you look at the table here, specifically, these are the few syllabus area that will be tested, and the other column will show you its importance, the weighting. Right? So like for the first syllabus area, you will be able to understand and advise on regulatory, professional and ethical issues when carrying out an assurance engagement. You will be able to understand the process involved in accepting and managing assurance engagement. So the second area would involve planning and assurance engagement in accordance with the terms of engagement, and lastly, concluding and reporting on engagements. Most professional level exams are 2.5 hours long, except for financial accounting and reporting, FAR, which is 3 hours. So the questions that will be asked in the exam will test you on the syllabus area according to the weightings set here. And the passing mark for all professional level exam is 55 marks. Okay, next we are going to move on to financial accounting and reporting. Again, I am showing you the syllabus area as well as the significance, the weightings. So once you have completed this module, you will be able to explain the uses as well as the inherent limitations of financial statements. Okay, what are the pros and cons of financial statements? You will be able to apply the International Accounting Standard Board's conceptual framework for financial reporting as well as identify ethical issues. Okay, the second syllabus area, once you complete it, you'll be able to prepare and present financial statements using accounting data for single entities in conformity with IFRS. And sometimes, the third syllabus area, in certain circumstances, you may be required to prepare and present consolidated financial statements. So under financial accounting and reporting, you are also required to describe the principal differences between IFRS and UK GAAP. So like I mentioned earlier, so this is the only paper where the exam is longer, 3 hours. The next module, tax compliance. So tax is all about computing tax computation. So the syllabus area would include, once you have done this module, you will be able to prepare tax computations for individuals, for companies that include both direct taxes and indirect taxes. So direct taxes will include things that we have shown here, will include capital taxes, corporation tax, income tax, national insurance, and the indirect tax will cover the stamp taxes as well as VAT, right? Ethics and law, you have to recognize, when doing tax compliance, you have to recognize the ethical and legal issues that can arise when you are performing tax work, as well as you must also be able to know the obligations the UK system imposes on taxpayers, and what are the implications if you don't pay tax. The last module, the last professional module that you need to complete is business planning. So for business planning, it will give you an opportunity to gain subject and sector-specific knowledge while you are pursuing your ACA. So there are 3 modules that you can choose from. Yeah, it can be in taxation, banking, or insurance. And you need to take one. Out of these 3, you just need to take one. So briefly, I will give you some information of business planning and taxation. Yeah, briefly. So BP2, or we call that BPT, business planning and taxation. It requires you to use technical knowledge and professional judgment to identify, explain, and evaluate alternative tax treatments or tax strategies for individual and company, whether to minimize or to defer tax, subject to the needs of the clients and taking into account the ethical and legal implication. For the other 2 modules of business planning, banking and insurance, you should be able to apply technical knowledge and professional skills to evaluate financial and regulatory reporting, and from providing audit and assurance services in banking and insurance sector respectively. So all business planning exams run for 2.5 hours, and business planning modules will be fully open book. The exam will be open book. Therefore, you are allowed to take in any written or printed material into the exam. Okay, so far I have now covered the 4 professional modules that you need to take to complete the professional stage. Now, a very important piece of information that you may be interested in, how Sunway test exam performance compares to the world. Okay, proud to present you this. Okay, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to digest the information on this slide. Right. Impressive, isn't it? As you can see, Sunway test pass rate for all professional modules have consistently surpassed the world pass rate. For audit and assurance, we achieved 95.4%, while the world pass rate is only 87.1%. We managed to achieve 100% passes for financial accounting and reporting, as well as tax compliance, while the world pass rate is below 90%. For business strategy and technology, financial management, our pass rate has always been higher than the world pass rate. And for business planning and taxation, our pass rate stands at 77, while the world pass rate is only 75%. And if you look at the last column there, I have this column on world prize winner. And Sunway Test is proud to produce multiple world prize winners, where we have 6 world prize winner for audit and assurance and tax compliance, 9 world prize winner for financial accounting and reporting, 3 for financial management, and 1 for business planning taxation. Now, when we say world prize winner, what does it mean? You're a world prize winner. What does it mean? It means our students have beaten, they have outperformed other students taking the same module from other parts of the world. So these students from other parts of the world can be coming from renowned universities like Oxford, Cambridge, London School of Economics, Imperial College London. So that means our students have been able to beat them. So you can imagine that. So with this track record, right, you can be sure to have experienced and dedicated lecturers guiding you all the way to receive the highest quality teaching and to receive continuous support once you come on board Sunway Test. All right. Okay, so once you have completed all professional modules, now we're going to move up to advanced level, where you are going to do the remaining 3 advanced level modules. The first one, corporate reporting. So corporate reporting builds on financial accounting and reporting that I mentioned earlier, and audit and assurance at professional level. So corporate reporting enables you to, on the compliance part, it will help you to evaluate corporate reporting policies for single entities and groups of different sizes and different industries. Okay, it also enables you to analyze and evaluate financial statements of entities both over time and across a range of industries. For audit and assurance, you would be able to explain the process involved in planning and audit, evaluate internal control, appraise risk using both quantitative, qualitative data, and using technology like data analytics. And lastly, you should also be able to identify and explain ethical issues. So this is the first advanced level module. The second advanced level module would be strategic business management. So under this strategic business management, you are required to use, you are supposed to use the technical knowledge, the judgment, and use the right models to analyze quantitative and qualitative data from different sources to evaluate alternatives so that you can make realistic business recommendation. So if you look at the syllabus area, you can see that strategic business management is a combination of various modules that you have taken at the professional level. For example, business strategy and management. It requires you to analyze and identify external environment and internal strategic capability of an entity, evaluate strategic choice, implement and monitoring your strategic performance. For those of you who have taken strategic management, you will know that these form part of the entire strategic management process that has been covered in business strategy and technology module at the professional level. So for financial strategy, financial structure, reconstruction, financial instruments, and financial markets, all these elements have been widely covered in your financial management at the professional level. Corporate reporting, something that I have just explained to you. This is again another module that you have just done at the advanced level. Assurance, all right, assurance, you need to appraise and explain the role of assurance in raising equity, new equity and debt funding, and monitoring and subsequent monitoring of such funding arrangements, and lastly, on ethics. Corporate reporting and strategic business management exam, they are 3.5 hours long. They are both corporate reporting and SBM, 3.5 hours long, and the passing mark is 50. Professional level, 55 mark. Advanced level, 50 marks. And last but not least, the last module at the advanced level is case study, the ultimate case study. So case study requires you to provide advice on complex business issues in the form of written report. So the objective of this case study is to evaluate your understanding on complex business issues and your ability to analyze both financial and non-financial data, use your professional and ethical judgment to develop conclusions and recommendations in a written report. So the case study is actually designed to reproduce a practical or real-life situation in which once you graduate, this is how you find yourselves in reality. The case study, the format of the case study scenario, okay, so the case study can be based on any it can be from any organizational structure, it can be of any operation, it can come from any industry. But the beauty part of the case study is advanced information will be given to you. Yeah, you will be provided with background details of the organization. You'll be given information about the environment, but they never tell you what are the questions that will be asked. No indication of what are the questions that will be asked. So once advanced information is given to you, you will be expected to familiarize yourself with the information. Okay, that means you have to do homework. Yeah, do a lot of analysis, research, do more homework to fully understand the company as well as the environment that you are operating in. So if you want to be successful, if you want to do well in case study, you need a combination of technical knowledge and skills. So the various technical knowledge you would have gained at the certificate level and professional level, and your practical experience you would have gained when you are working for the authorized training employees. So therefore, case study is taken normally when you are already working. You have worked, therefore you have acquired the necessary practical work experience. Exam for case study is 4 hours long and is an open book exam. So, you know, earlier I told you they gave you, they give you all those advanced information. So therefore, because it's an open book exam, you can bring in any written or printed material, all those advanced information that you have researched early, as many items as you can. Bring in as many as you can, subject to space restriction. Don't bring your whole house there. Passing mark is 50. Okay, once you pass your case study, okay, it's time for celebration. You have obtained the prestigious ICAEW, ACA qualification, and this marks the start of a promising career. All right, so I have actually now covered all the modules that you have to take and some brief description about each module. Right, a little bit about technology. You want to ensure that our students are equipped with the latest knowledge and skills related to technology. As you can see from the table, since 2017, ICAEW has started integrating various technology components into all modules. As you can see here, we have artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, cyber risk and security, cloud, data analytics, data science, big data, Internet of Things, digitization of text. All these components of technologies are embedded into different modules to reflect the real-life trends and the advances in technology. So if you look at the tick, tick, tick there in the table, it shows the technology component that have been integrated into the various modules. So this is to ensure that all our chartered accountants are relevant and updated with the latest technology, knowledge, and skills to be successful in their career. The last part of my session tonight, we are going to see two progression charts that you can pursue. One on a full-time and another on part-time. Now, let's see the full-time progression first. So for this full-time progression, once you complete your degree, you will spend the first year completing 4 professional modules on a full-time basis. So you take 1 year to study only. Thereafter, for the remaining 3 years, you will start working full-time with an authorized training employer and complete the remaining 3 advanced level modules. Okay, and then after that, you graduate, you become a member. So this is the full-time progression chart. If you are thinking of taking the part-time pathway, the moment you graduate, you will start working full-time with ATEs and pursuing study at the same time. So during the first and second year, while working full-time, you will be completing the 4 professional modules. And at the third year, you will complete the 3 advanced level modules before you graduate. So some of you may ask, which pathway is better? Well, actually, there is no progression. There is no one progression that is better than the other, but it all depends on your needs and the suitability to your current situation. It's a matter of your personal preference. What is best for you? Okay, right. With that, I have actually shared with you information about the ACA qualification framework, the modules that you need to take, 4 at the professional level, 3 at the advanced level, and I have also given you a brief description about each module. And we have also discussed about the alternative progression pathway, both part-time and full-time, that are available to you. I hope you have gained a better understanding about this program. And if there is any question, we will address them at the end of the session later. And now I'm going to pass the time to Ming Xiang of ICAEW, who is going to tell you more about ICAEW. All right, so thank you very much for your attention, and I see you later. Over to you, Ming Xiang.
Hello everyone, this is Ashley. I started my first ICAEW paper when I was in my 3rd year of study in University of Malaya. My parents are truly proud of me when they found out that I was going to pursue a professional qualification. While my friends, they are amazed with my decision because ICAEW is known as the hardest professional qualification.
The ICAEW examination is actually like an advanced version of the courses we took in UM. So the knowledge from ICAEW actually gives me a better understanding of all the concepts behind the standards and so on.
I have learned a lot of new knowledge which were not covered in our university courses. ICAEW courses actually teach us how to apply those theories practically instead of just memorizing it and regurgitate it in exam.
The greatest advantage of studying ICAEW will be the ICAEW way of thinking. What do I mean is, actually I found out that those who study ICAEW has a different way of thinking and seeing things, and this actually helped me a lot during my studies as well as when I'm working as an intern.
Besides that, there are improvements in my speed to pick up new things. It also improves my critical thinking skills, which are important for both studies and work.
I'm proud that I made a right decision to pursue ICAEW, as the knowledge I learned throughout this program has made me a more competent person at work.
Oops. Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Ming Xiang. All right. So I'm the senior manager for marketing and student recruitment at ICAEW Malaysia. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for spending the time tonight with us. Okay. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a little bit about ICAEW again. All right. So thank you very much, Jacqueline, earlier for sharing about ICAEW. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to reinforce the point or points of what you have just mentioned just now, all right, with my slides and presentation after this. And at the same time, we're going to bring in a fellow student, okay, just like all of you, but he's currently with UM, okay. And what he has done is that while he's pursuing his degree, he actually took up an ICAEW exam while at the same time doing up his degree program. Okay, so we call that front loading. So we're going to have him on board afterwards in a while. Okay, so before that, let's go on. I have some slides to run through with you first. All right, some interesting ones. Okay, and can I have the slides up, please? Next slide, please. So, like what Jacqueline has just mentioned just now, all right, we are actually one of the oldest professional body in the world. All right, established way back in the 1880s. So that makes us approximately about 150 years old. All right, okay. And we were appointed by royal charter by the Queen of England. Though ICAEW, all right, started in London, okay, we have expanded our office from London to countries like in Brussels, in Germany, all right, in Paris, as well as to even places like in Southeast Asia, like Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Shanghai, and Singapore. All right, next slide, please. So today, just like what Jacqueline has mentioned, we have 156,000 members in 150 countries working as chartered accountants. All right, and not just in the field of accounting, but in other areas, including consultancy, tax, businesses, marketing, advertising, and that's the beauty of being a chartered accountant. You can actually work in a variety of fields, because we prepare you not just to be an accountant, but to be a business and finance specialist. All right. 96 of the world's 100 global brands. All right. In other words, brands that you can straight away recognize, like, for example, Nike, Reebok. All right. And these brands employ ICAEW chartered accountants. In Malaysia, we work with more than 180 employers ready to take you in and train you. All right. And the good news is that almost 100% of our students are employed after completing the professional level of the ICAEW program. Next slide, please. So, can we click on the first box, please? All right. So, next slide, please. So, what are the main things whenever we ask a chartered accountant? What is one of the main reasons why they took up ICAEW? And one of the best reasons they gave was that it is one of the most recognized qualification in the world. All right, you can take a degree, you can take an MBA, you can take a master's. All right, but that qualification may not be recognized around the world. But a professional qualification like ICAEW will take you places. All right, so via our networks through the chartered accountants worldwide. So ICAEW is part of a huge network of chartered accountants, for example, called Chartered Accountants Worldwide, where we have mutual recognition and reciprocal recognition between the different professional bodies in different countries around the world. Take, for example, all right, our neighbors down south, which is a very popular destination for a lot of Malaysians to go and work, all right, the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, all right, the parent body in Singapore, all right, has a reciprocal recognition with only 3 bodies in the world. And one of it is ICAEW, right? The Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. And the other 2 are with Scotland and with Ireland. And only these 3 bodies have a 100% reciprocal recognition with the Singapore Chartered Accounting Body, where we can then become a member and work in Singapore without taking additional papers. As you can see, through this network of chartered accountants worldwide, we are also recognized in countries like Indonesia via the Ikatan Akuntan Indonesia, in Australia and New Zealand via the Chartered Accountants of Australia and New Zealand, right, as well as countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, India, and so on. Next slide, please. The ICAEW is also part of the Global Accounting Alliance, right, which then spreads our recognition to much more countries, like, for example, to America with the American Institute of CPA, sorry, the American Institute of Certified Practicing Accountants, all right, as well as to the Hong Kong Institute of Certified Public Accountants, all right, Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand again, all right, and many other countries, including Japan and even Taiwan, all right. So the ICAEW qualification is recognized in so many areas and so many countries, allowing you opportunities in so many places. Next slide, please. All right. So next slide, please. So we have listened to Jacqueline just now, where Jacqueline has actually mentioned and shared with us extensively on the curriculum of the ICAEW. All right. So again, I'm showing you again the 3 steps or the 3 levels of our ICAEW program. And just like what Jacqueline has just mentioned as well earlier, you will be exempted from the first 6 papers at the certificate level, all right, as well as the 2 papers on the right, which is the business strategy and technology and financial management. In other words, leaving you to complete another 7 papers, all right, after you graduate. But here is where I want to introduce to you an opportunity, all right? And it is something that many students are already doing right now while pursuing their degree. So here's where we're going to bring in Arif, all right? We're going to bring in Arif, okay? A fellow student like you, all right? But currently pursuing his degree in University Malaya, all right? So Arif, hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi Arif, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hi, Arif. All right, I think you know why you are up here tonight. All right, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we are speaking to students at the University Utara Malaysia. All right, and I was just speaking to them about front loading. All right, front loading is where students like Arif, who will take up the ICAEW modules or the ICAEW exams, instead of waiting for after he completes his degree, Arif has actually started taking the ICAEW exams during his degree. All right. So Arif, why don't you share with us a little bit about what are you doing, what are you studying right now, and what paper have you taken for the ICAEW?
So for currently, I just took the FLR for the last September exam, and I'm planning to continue for my audit and assurance as my next paper. Maybe I will sit for the December exam.
Wow. All right. And Arif, maybe you can share a little bit. How do you find the time to actually study for a professional examination while you're pursuing your degree?
Yes, sure. So actually for this, I actually may use my friends as a reference since I took the ICAEW FLR during my semester break. And actually one thing that I would agree and experience myself with my friends, that the secret is doing the question bank that is prepared by the ICAEW itself. So most of our time actually, apart from the lecture that we get during the class, actually the question banks actually help us very much. So when I observed my friend last time, seems he always having a tight schedule because he need to manage his time for the degree classes and the ICAEW subject. Most of the time also, I would say we will do the question banks, especially when he got free time. And he said the lecture in some way is very good, and I couldn't agree more because last time the one who taught me is Miss Santa. So the class is very interesting, and I can easily understand all the topics that is being taught by her. And the question bank that is prepared by the ICAEW, as I mentioned just now, is very helpful because it helps us to practice more on how to do the financial statement and accounting treatments. For your information, FLR final consists of 4 questions. So here we will use our knowledge and skill to prepare a single entity financial statement. Second, to explain the accounting theory. Third, single and mixed topic question, where we will have different kinds of topics to be together, and we will try to prepare the cash flow also. And lastly is a group financial statement, including the joint venture and associate. So we all actually can prepare ourselves by keep doing the question banks, because the final will almost be the same. For other subject, I'm not really sure if we can do like this, especially in business planning. But it's not about the same question that we are trying to focus on, but it's how we can understand about the topics and the skill and knowledge that we could use for ourselves and test ourselves during the final. And same goes for one I read in the blog about the ICAEW that focuses on the practice instead of the memorizing all the details and definition. The final is quite hard, but still it is manageable. So if you really want to take it during semester, I would suggest to learn with a lecturer. Sunway test is very best, very one of the best, I would say. Keep doing the question bank and practice every single day, especially whenever we have free time. So apart from your degree classes, you actually can put some of your time to practice for the question bank that is prepared by the ICAEW, because it comes with an answer that we can actually refer to. If you actually planning to a self-study also is not entirely impossible, because there is actually one senior that I know. He actually self-study for FAR, tax compliance, audit assurance, and business planning. So it's up to himself whether how they are going to manage that time. And I would say that it is okay, because all you have to do is to find some time and practice every day using all the resources that you have.
All right. That's very helpful, Arif, and I think you gave a very good testimonial on how you've managed your time. And I think it was a very good tip that something that is very useful, not only just for the professional exam, but also for your degree studies as well. Keep on doing past year questions. I think it's something that has been drilling down with us, I think, since our SPM, STPM days as well. I think when you take a look at the question bank and do question bank, you get the flow of the questions, you get the flow of the theme and the type of questions that were asked as well. I'll come back to you again, Arif. All right, there's something else that I wanted to share.
More?
Yes? Okay,
yes, you can. About the question just now. So actually the question is prepared by the ICAEW for us to practice is based on like a real situation.
Yes.
Like it's like a very, very good practice for us to actually it helps us for us to do our work in the future. So it's not entirely like, it's actually very worth it, because it helps for us to prepare for our career.
All right, that's good to hear. That's in fact, just like what Jacqueline has mentioned earlier as well, the ICAEW curriculum is very, very work ready. All right, and a lot of the scenarios that they use and the questions are all based on real life scenarios. Arif, we'll come back to you in just two minutes. All right. Okay. There is another question that I would like to ask, and I'm sure the students will benefit from it as well. Can we go to the next slide? All right. Can we skip this? Okay. And can we go to the next one? Thank you. All right. Now, so just like what Arif has mentioned just now as well. All right. And in fact, Jacqueline has also mentioned as part of their as part of a presentation. All right. If you look at the chart and you look at the right-hand side, students who have completed a degree, all right, in accounting will normally gain exemptions and go on to take up the ICAEW program. All right. So as you can see, all right, okay, if you look at the middle column, all right, students who have taken the degree will gain exemptions from 8 papers, and that will take you into the final 4 papers in the professional level. All right. But like what Arif has done, okay, what Arif has done is that instead of waiting until he has completed his degree, all right, and go out and work and pick up another 7 papers while he's working, all right, Arif has decided to start off taking the ICAEW papers, in other words, the remaining 4 professional papers at his degree itself. And Arif is not the only one that has done it. As Arif has mentioned, his seniors have also started doing it as well. All right, okay. And in fact, the 3 members and students that you have seen in the video at the beginning are all students who have pursued their ICAEW professional level while they are studying. All right. So maybe this is the bit where I might want to come back to Arif again. So Arif, even though you have just taken one paper, did you feel that the curriculum that you have studied in the FAR paper is relevant to what you are studying in your degree as well?
Yeah, for this one, actually, it is very relevant to what we have studied for our degree. So when I first took the ICAEW FAR, actually, I was really excited because this is my favorite subject starting from Form 4, matriculation and
Wow.
degree life. The syllabus is quite same with what we learned in Foundation FAR, Intermediate FAR, Advanced FAR, and Corporate Reporting. In UUM, I think you guys call it 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and Corporate Reporting. So I think it's quite same because until the Corporate Reporting, we all learn about the group financial statement, foreign operation, operating segment, related party transaction, financial instrument, and so on. So in the first syllabus, we actually learn again all this topic, but based on the IFRS and IAS, and we will learn a little bit on the UK GAAP to make a comparison between both standard. So actually,
Wonderful.
yeah, it also we learn about the UK GAAP to make a comparison, meaning that we learn side by side with the standards because usually our lecturer will provide a simple note for us to understand. But in ICAEW, we actually learn how to read some of the definitions stated in the standard as well. Meaning in the future, we know where to actually get the reference if we are doing the specific account or something like that. Like for example, if searching for a topic that is standard that is related to the group financial statement, maybe we can refer to IFRS 10, IFRS 3, and also IAS 28. And
Very
so
technical.
same goes for other standard as well. And I actually realized that most of the topic also we learn deeper compared to what we learn in our degree life. So basically it is worth, but some of the topic or standard we will learn more in APR, but we will eventually will learn it during our advanced level for the corporate reporting.
Thank
So
you
back to
very
the
much,
question
Arif.
just now, it is very relevant to our degree. Actually, our degree really helps us to understand better, more easier actually.
All right.
Mm.
So it's really complementary. In other words, Arif, what you are saying is that doing the ICAEW module at the same time enhance your understanding. Taking
Yes.
your degree at the same time complements your understanding of what is needed for both your degree and for the professional papers as well. And I think fellow students in UUM, I think that's the strength of it. And in fact, that I think Arif will concur with me as well as some of his seniors as well. It is much more worth it for you to take the ICAEW modules upfront while you're pursuing your degree, because there are two advantages of doing that. Number one is that you will notice that the ICAEW curriculum actually does complement whatever you are learning in your degree. At the same time, as a student of ICAEW, you will get access to a huge plethora of online resources in our student database in our ICAEW website. All right. And in fact, I do not know whether Arif has started exploring. Right, there's a lot of information in there. Right, there are even online classes and webinar on data analytics, online classes and webinar on how to use Microsoft Excel. All right, do a presentation and so on. And all these skills will help you moving forward with your degree and also after when you graduate. And here's the bit that I want to share with everyone today. Okay, you see, ICAEW is a very work-centric qualification. All right, we emphasize a lot on the importance of having work experience, and that's what makes our chartered accountants very, very, very work-ready and valuable to our employers. All right, so you see, we are one of the rare professional qualifications in the world where you can't complete the ICAEW without being employed. And that's where the last blue box at the bottom is very important for all of you. All right. So you see, if you have graduated from your degree and you intend to then take up ICAEW, all right, okay, the one way is that you will then go on and be employed, and then you pick up the remaining 4 papers at the professional and 3 papers at the advanced level while you are working. Or you can do like what Arif has done, all right, and start taking the ICAEW modules during your degree, so that when you complete your degree And if you have completed some of the professional level papers, you will have less papers to take, or just the advanced level when you come out and work. And that's the advantage of the final level, because we are a very work-ready qualification. Can I have the next slide, please? Chilong, can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. All right. So the ICAEW, all right, at the final level, when you are employed, all right, when you are when you are employed at one of our authorized training employers, you will also sign up under a training agreement with us, where you will then be working and studying, all right, and the training agreement is for approximately 450 days and 3 years, okay, where you will go through the curriculum and complete your advanced level, take up professional development courses, and take up ethics learning program, where it is a module where you must pass to become a chartered accountant. Next slide, please. During your training agreement or while you are studying your advanced level, we will also prepare and train you with these 7 professional development ladders, which will make you a very, very work-ready professional chartered accountant. All right. Skills like ethics, skills like communication, skills like teamwork, and a very, very valuable skill, adding value. All right. Adding value is not just about being a leader. It's about how do you add value on top of your responsibility in the firm and add value to your role and your organization as well. All right. And we make sure that when our chartered accountants graduate and complete the advanced level, they will then have all these 7 skills ready with them. Next slide, please. All right. So for those of you who are curious, who are the employers that we work with? Okay. So we work with more than 180 authorized training employers in Malaysia. All right. And many of these authorized training employers are not just Malaysian firms, but they are multinational firms, giving you opportunities to also be transferred and working in all these firms over in the other countries as well. All right. We have international professional firms like BDO, Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, all right, Grant Thornton, as well as even our multinational banks like Maybank, M-Bank, RHP, our oil and gas companies like Petronas, Shell, our government-linked companies like UEM, excuse me, SPAT, Securities Commission, and so on as well. All right, all these authorized training employers are ready to take you in and help you to complete the ICAEW qualification. Next slide, please. So, next slide, please. So, to complement what Jacqueline has shared with you, we have prominent members in Malaysia, not just Tan Sri Tony Fernandez, but we also have, for example, Tan Sri Dato Sri Arshad, which is the chairman of Equinas and director of Khazanah National. The executive chairman of PwC is an ICAEW chartered accountant, and the recently promoted and appointed president and CEO of Petronas, right, Tengku Muhammad Taufik Tengku Aziz, is also an ICAEW chartered accountant. Next slide, please. The managing partners of 3 of the top professional firms in Malaysia, all right, are all ICAEW chartered accountants as well. And a very interesting fact about Dato' Ganati is that he is also an ICAEW council member, just like Dato' Faiz Azmi in the other slide, all right, representing Malaysia, all right, and representing us to the ICAEW Council in the UK. Next slide, please. We also have very prominent ladies, all right, okay. For example, the Chief Digital Officer of Petronas is also an ICAEW chartered accountant, all right. Ms. Chow Mei Mei at Sapura Energy, also a chartered accountant, and a very strong advocate of ICAEW at Sime Darby, Encik Mustamil Muhammad, is also an ICAEW chartered accountant. Next slide, please. And as was shared by Jacqueline earlier, all right, okay, Sunway over the years have produced so many prize winners, and these prize winners are all now successfully working in firms. For example, you have the first lady, sorry, on the left, all right, okay, who is currently employed at KPMG. She was the top #1 professional level student in the world, all right, in 2018. all right, which means that she has beaten students from all over the world, all right, in top universities, and have emerged as the first and #1 student for the professional level exams. The second lady is currently with BDO, all right, and the third gentleman is currently working for PwC. Next slide, please. Okay, so for those of you who have a mobile phone, or if you're watching this on your laptop, all right, okay, please capture this screen, okay, or if you're watching this on your mobile phone, please snapshot this screen as well, okay. These are articles on our websites, okay, which talk about, for example, the first article talk about our members and how resilient they are during the MCO, during the COVID-19, how they survive and how the career is resilient and how their occupations are maintained during the COVID-19 pandemic. The second article, all right, where we interviewed a member, all right, where she already had a professional qualification with another certified body. She's a professional accountant, but realized that she couldn't access or couldn't gain recognition in countries where she wanted to approach and work in. She has now decided to take out an ICAEW. She has passed and now is an ICAEW chartered accountant. And at the last article, all right, we interviewed one of the youngest members that we have, who became the lead the lead of the finance department at the very early age of 22 years old. And at 26 years old right now, he is leading the finance function of one of the biggest pharmaceutical firm in Southeast Asia. All right, and he is an ICAEW chartered accountant. All right, so we are coming to the end of our presentation. So before we end, okay, all right, I would just like to ask Arif one more thing. Okay, all right, Arif, do you have anything that you want to share, all right, with your fellow friends and students at UUM about taking the ICAEW qualification?
Sure. Actually, one last thing that I would like to share with everyone is about the reasons and experience on why I actually chose ICAEW as my professional certification. So I hope that this sharing actually somehow will able to help you guys in determining what kind of certificate that you would like to take during or after your degree life. So the first reason is I chose ICAEW ACA as my professional certification is because of the prestige and reputation of ICAEW members worldwide in the public eyes, especially to those in the financial industry. There is also in the article that stated that ICAEW Chartered Accountants ACA are recognized as having a world-leading qualification and often rise to position of business leaders, C-suite, and senior management, and how they portray themselves as a professional accountant. So here, my impression on ICAEW is that we can learn and possess skill that could help us to advance in our career while maintaining our skill and knowledge and contributing to the society that we all live in.
I think that is very, very helpful, Arif. All right, and that is very sound as well. All right, thank you very much, Arif. All right, thank you. So, all right, so without further ado, thank you very much to all of you in UUM. So we are at the end of our presentation. So again, thank you very much, Arif. All right, currently the final year student at University Malaya. My name is Ming Xiang. If you have any questions or any queries, we are open for Q&A after this. All right. So you have heard Arif. All right. In fact, our employers are always looking for potential ICAEW chartered accountants. All right. So with that, we have one more video. All right. So Chilong, next slide and the video, please.
ICAEW is one of the most advanced learning and professional development program in the world.
The ICAEW qualification helps us enhance the skill of our employees to be qualified accountants.
Graduates that have successfully completed a qualification, they're far more committed in what they want to do to hone their craft.
It is important to possess ability to understand all-round business needs and requirements, and that's the reason why the industry is looking at ICAEW as a preferred qualification.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, thank you for listening to us tonight. Okay, you have heard Arif spoken, you have heard Jacqueline, and you have heard the employers spoke as well. All right. So thank you very much. All right. I'll see you all. Have a good evening. We'll move on to the questions and answers. Thank you. All right. Maybe I should answer this, Jacqueline.
Okay.
All right. So the answer is yes. Okay. So normally at the advanced level, majority, in fact, all of our students will be working. All right. They will be fully employed with our authorized training employers. And yes, as part of the training agreement, the employers will give students time off to not just attend classes at Sunway, but also time off for revision and the exams as well. All right. Anything you want to add for that, Jacqueline?
Yeah, I think there's a question there on
how
lectures.
long?
Yeah, not lectures for professional level and advanced level. When would that be held? I think there's a question on that. So, further to what Ming Xiang has mentioned, so lectures for professional level are normally held during weekend. So we have a lot of part-time classes during the weekend. And for advanced level, corporate reporting, SBM, and case study, most of the revision, most of the classes are held during weekdays. But there are also some that are held during weekend, but very few of them. So like what you have just mentioned, Ming Xiang, employer will give them time off, paid leave, to attend all these classes. Yeah, so there's no issue about that, Glory.
Right. So you have heard Jacqueline mention as well. So Sunway will run those classes on part-time and on weekdays as well. But the good news is that when the employers give you time off, you are still paid. Right. So that's the advantage of taking the program with us. Well, Glory, that's very subjective because it depends on you. All right. Because I think employers will give you time off, all right, anytime from a month to 2 months, depending on the employer and depending on when the exams will be, all right. But on maybe how long would you need to study for an exam, maybe Arif can share that, all right. How long did you take to actually prepare for your exams?
So actually, this one actually depends on the individual itself, whether you want to, for example, you start the class on July, but you doesn't want to take the September exam, but you want to take the December exam. So there are a few months for you to prepare. But usually, most of the people that I know, including myself, for FAR last time, we took around 2 months only.
To prepare.
2 months only to prepare. But I think it is possible because of the lecture is very good from Sunway, Miss Anka. So from that, actually, because of the class with the lecture note that she provided us with, actually it helped us to easy to understand. But if I will learn like self-study by myself, I think I would take around maybe 5 months to prepare myself. So it depends on you guys, whether you guys want to take the like September exam, December exam, March exam, or June exam, and by when you guys want to start the class, like that. But usually, the employer, I think they also will use the 2 months to prepare. But there are also who actually take the class, for example, on July, but they sit for the December exam, like that.
And
Thank you, Arif.
Arif, from the lecturer's perspective, it all depends on how consistent you have been, Glory. If you are a student who has been consistently keeping up with classes, well, probably just 1 or 2 weeks to actually further reinforce what you have understood would be sufficient. But if you are one person who is doing it at the very last minute, then you will need a longer period of time to actually pick up whatever that you have missed, to do all those questions, to drill, keep on drilling. So you will take a lot more full time to actually do it. So I think, the normal kind of exam, the attitude towards exam, the common one, the typical one would be, study consistently, keep up with the lecturers. Yeah, I think that is the little tip that I think everybody knows. But sometimes it's just hard for us to follow that little tip.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I think this question is for Jacqueline.
Yeah, we you know, if you decide to front load your study, actually we have all those weekend part-time classes that run during the weekend. You can actually attend classes, you know, if you are coming from UUM, you know, I don't expect you to come face to face. You can actually log in online. We actually have hybrid teaching where you can actually attend face to face, or if it's not convenient for you to do so, you just log in, and then you can receive the same kind of teaching remotely. So we have all those part-time classes run during the weekend.
I think it's the new normal right now, right, Jacqueline?
Right.
I think the new normal now is the hybrid session, all right, with online classes going on, and your computer is now your best friend.
Right, and thank God, you know, all these things, and suddenly they impose the CMCO, and now we are actually all ready. We are not even scrambling to have, you know, to have a device, or how are we going to go about doing all these things. We are all ready. So definitely this pandemic has accelerated all this adoption of technology, which is actually good.
And I think this is very apt for students like you from UUM, who are all the way up north, all right? Or it doesn't necessarily you have to be in Perlis or Kedah or Penang or anywhere else. I think what Jacqueline is saying is that no matter where you are in Malaysia, you can access the classes from where you are. Okay, maybe I'll just quickly answer this as well. All right. So the professional level exams are payable in pounds. All right. And at the current moment is charged £103 per paper, per exam. All right. So the ICAEW, we don't have a time limit. Unlike some other professional qualifications, we don't have a time limit for you to complete your exams. All right. But we limit you to 4 attempts at your professional level, which means that each attempt that you take will count towards the total attempts that you take. If you have taken all 4, then you won't qualify anymore. All right. But each attempt, each exam will cost you £103. On whether you're eligible on a discount or a reduced cost, the answer is no. All right.
No
because
discount.
the fees. Sorry?
No discount.
Because the fees are the same, whether you're a student in Malaysia or you're a student in China or you're a student in Paris or in Germany, you pay the same exam fees.
Right.
One for Arif.
Okay. Sorry. So for this, share tips on how to manage the study for your degree and also ICAEW at the same time. So like I said just now, actually you guys can put some time to prepare to keep practice the question bank that is prepared by the ICAEW, because like me also, we're all like always busy with the assignment and classes during our weekdays. So usually the only free time we can have is like during night or during the weekends. So you need to use wisely these times to put yourself on practice for those questions, because those questions actually almost same for the final. So it's actually prepare yourself for the final. So while you are attending your classes for degree, I suggest you to keep on every day. Every day you need to practice yourself, try to understand all those questions, and for during the weekend, keep on revising about all the thing that you have learned. Because like Miss Jacqueline said just now, it's about our consistency about what we learn. So even if we let it like a few days, it might affect us on our understanding about it.
Thank you. All right. I think I'll take this question. Thanks, Pei Ming. This is a very common question. I think this is something that a lot of students always ask, because compared to other professional qualifications, some others where you may only have to take less than 5 papers, 4 papers. We have 7 more exams to take after your degree. All right. But I think to put it in a very simple analogy, all right, it all boils down to what qualification or what professional qualification you will want to acquire for your career, all right, and for the rest of your life as well. All right. Like I've mentioned, a lot of our members, a lot of our chartered accountants pursue the ICAEW qualification, not because it is one of the most prestigious and oldest professional body in the world, but for simple reasons like, for example, the portability and the recognition of the ICAEW qualification, not just with employers in Malaysia, but also with governments around the world. All right. So many of the students find it worthwhile to take the remaining 7 papers after the ICAEW, after their degree, all right, to take the remaining 7 ICAEW papers, because it helps, that qualification helps to bring them to many places around the world, allowing them to work in different countries where they are professional, where the ICAEW professional qualification is recognized, and the network of people that you will build and meet will give you a lot of opportunities, especially in your career in the future. All right. And that is a very, very, a very, very good advantage. All right. Okay. If you take up the ICAEW qualification. And maybe I can take this as well. All right. So, yep, Yao Kang. Right. The answer is yes. All right. And the answer is yes. All right. So let's say, for example, if you decide to take down the path of what Arif and a lot of other students, not just in but also in USM and other universities have done, is that they front-loaded some of their papers during the degree and complete the professional level even before the graduate, which means that you will only have 3 more papers, for example, at the advanced level to complete. And the answer is yes. You can take this, you can move to any other countries, like, for example, Singapore. All right, you can go to Singapore, you can go to China, you can go to Hong Kong, you can go to Vietnam, you can even go to the UK, all right, and pursue the ICAEW qualification with an authorized training employer who will employ you and allow you to pursue the qualification at the same time. So the very quick answer is yes. You can even move and be portable when you are still pursuing the ICAEW qualification.
Okay, question to me. So actually, Malaysia follow the MFRS, MFRS. It follow the IFRS standard, right? But for the UK GAP, there are actually a few things that they're a bit different compared to the IFRS, because because they need to comply with what are some of their country standards. Like us also MFRS, most of it actually we follow the IFRS, but there are a few things also we need to follow what the country laws has stated.
Actually, you want to add something about this?
I think our syllabus follows the IFRS, the UK accounting standard by FRC. I think not the Malaysia one, not the Malaysian accounting standard.
Yeah. But will students be able to know the difference, and will it complement each other?
The difference between the IFRS and UK GAP, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, it's not really a lot actually for the comparison. For the FLR subject, there are a little bit about the UK GAP that is going to be tested in the final as well.
Quoting a member which I spoke to about a few months back, all right, I think something similar as well as this, because I think someone was asking that member, ICAEW member, all right, whether studying UK accounting standards, will it benefit you in the long run because you're working in Malaysia? And that particular ICAEW member answered very aptly is that, do you only just want to work in Malaysia? All right, because though you practice and you study standards in Malaysia, all right, but taking the UK accounting standard or taking the IFRS will allow you to then also be portable, part of that portable journey as well, right? Allowing you to go on to other countries as well, including working in the European Union or working in the UK, working in Ireland, working in Singapore, right? So I hope that answers your question, Laurie. I can take this, and the very quick answer is yes. And the very, very quick answer is a definite yes. All right. Because when you front load your papers during your degree, not only do you then need to do less when you are working, all right, which would be less burden for you, because at that time, not only will you be coping with work, which is hectic, to be honest, all right, but at the same time, you'll be studying as well. And at the same time, for employers, they see you front loading to be a great advantage as well, because they know that you will have completed the bulk of the ICAEW papers during your degree, all right? Means that you will have graduated with your degree, and you will probably have completed more than your 8 exemptions, all right? With some even completing up to additional 3 or 4 papers, meaning that, what I've mentioned earlier, is that you will then need to only do less when you go out and work. When you do less when you go out and work, okay, that will give you more time to also focus on your work. And that is also an advantage to the employers. All right. So again, to answer this question, it is a definite yes. All right. So I think we are running out of time. Okay. So on behalf of ICAEW, thank you so much to all of you from UUM for being with us tonight. All right. Thank you, Arif, for being our guest tonight and sharing a lot of insightful information about front loading and your experience as well. And I'd like to thank Jacqueline as well for the opportunity to be here. All right. So thank you very much. Okay. I hope you all have a good night, have a good rest. Okay. And hopefully we'll see each other again after the MCO.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.